жағында 200-ге жуық облысымыздың әр ауданынан ауыл балалары тәрбиеленуде. Оларға интернатымызда барлық жағдайлар жасалған.
Dear guests, welcome to our actual web, which is rich with its talented and gifted youth, the part of which is our regional Kazakh specialized boarding school for gifted children, number 11, after Sakensi Fulin. Our school is rich in tradition and excellence. Under the government educational program Bolashak, 14 students successfully continue their study abroad. Last year, one of our graduates entered the new University of Astana. In 2009, our school was awarded with an honorable certificate of Education and Science Ministry of Kazakhstan as the best innovative school for excellence in teaching and upbringing of growing generation. Our school leader, Dr. Darmen, received the 2009 Future Leader Exchange Secondary Scholarship. Now he's a student at the Kemek University. I am a flex finalist of 2009 and 2010 year. This year we are graduates and we are going to the universities. We want to obtain an education that meets the international standards. Attention given to education in languages in Kazakhstan is very important. Indeed, a key to the future of our country. We are proud of our school. We hope you'll enjoy yourselves being here.
Years old, and just our pupils made a short excursion about our school museum. So please.
Good afternoon, dear guests. I'm really glad to see you in our museum. Before I'll tell you about our museum, I want to introduce myself. My name is Hirke, and I am the student of 11th form. I want to show you this stand, which is devoted to people who graduated from our school and became famous. One of them is Burhan Mantimova. She was at different states of services, such as Ambassador of Kazakhstan in Israel and Italy. Now she is a representative of Kazakhstan in United Nations.
Wow.
Also,
just now she is, in the USA. The representative of our republic. So we are proud of her.
Also, Akhshta Bakhgilieva, she one of our school leaders. Nowadays, she is a famous Kazakh poet. Yeah.
Also, she lives here in Euros.
Further, you can see the names of our directors in different periods of time. Nowadays, our principal is Sabarov Yursayin Khadrova. Also, there you can see lots of certificates and diplomas won by our school in many regional and republic contests. And the most valuable one is for being the first among the high schools in our country.
Wow!
Yeah.
Congratulations!
Also, there you can see brief information about our school, but it's maybe complicated because it is in Kazakh. Okay, follow me please. And then there you can see the board, which presents the names of brilliant students and the owners of gold medals in different periods of time, as you see. Yeah. Further, I want to show you the numbers, which tells us a little bit about our history, which began in 1924 when our school was founded, and then in 1936 it became a high school. Meanwhile, there were only 3 in our country. In 1964, our school was named after Sakensi Fulin, whose name our school is given to. And then in 1991, our school became a lyceum. And in 1999, our school became boarding Kazakh boarding school complex for gifted children. And nowadays, our school is a specialized boarding school complex for gifted children, where some subjects such as mathematics, physics, and biology are taught in English in advanced level. And I want to take your attention to these photos because many famous people visited our school. And one of them is the president of our republic, Nursultan Abishevich Nazarbayev, and the first lady of our country, Sara Alpasovna. Yeah, and I want to show you this corner, which is devoted to an outstanding person, Saken Sifulin. As I mentioned before, he was the founder of our school. And there you can see lots of photos which were made during his life. And for example, this photo was taken in the prison. He was taken into prison and shot as the enemy of his nation. Yeah, but yeah, it isn't. He wasn't enemy of our nation, but it was according to life and according to this time. So there you can see photos of his family, wife and the 2 children. Then also I want to take attention to this wall carpet, which is a present of Saken's relative Ulbanu, especially for our museum. And you can touch it, it is handmade.
It is made of pure wool.
And last, this corner is dedicated to our customs. There you can see lots of national wooden dishes and also one of the national instruments, the dombra, and many interesting souvenirs which
Were presented
were presented
to our school.
to our school by pupil or by famous people.
By guests.
Very nice.
My guests.
Very beautiful. We've heard the
Dombra. Yeah.
played.
Yeah.
Yes. We can play this.
You can play if you want.
Oh,
Yes,
I
yeah.
wouldn't touch it.
Okay, so that's all. We deeply appreciate your visit and I really enjoyed showing our museum. And now you're welcome to make a short excursion around the school. Okay. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good job.
Thank you.
You can start up.
Спасибо.
And their English is quite well, like yours.
So we can take my excursion.
Good afternoon, my name is Hanbanu. So our purpose is nonetheless is continue our founders' education and wishes. I mean to provide kind of educations and experiences that give our pupils possible and best opportunities now and for the future. Let's come here. These students are our pride. Under the government educational program Russia, the students continue their study abroad. The students continue their study in the USA, in Great Britain, Australia, Czech Republic, and in Russia. So let's come here, please. From beginning 2003 and 2010, every year our regional teams grants, and they continue their study in the biggest cities in our country, Almaty and Astana. These students,
Все, внимание сюда. Внимание.
Thank you. You're welcome.
these students are our tribe because they hold us special and the highest familiar side in our country is named after what is gold medal. And the number of the honors gold medal is growing each year.
Wow. This
Yes.
whole wall is gold medal?
Yeah, it's reached 42. 42 honors. 2009 and 2010, there were two students who got the highest points in nation testing. It's 125 out of 135.
One.
Yes, and we are also proud of our school 77 brilliant students, graduates. The highest point
The national testing is an awful thing.
Good afternoon.
Добрый день.
I'm John Larson from the American Embassy in Astana,
Меня зовут Джон Ларсон, и я приехала из посольства США в Казахстане.
and I'm happy to be here in Uralsk and to welcome you to our Native American performance.
Я очень рад быть здесь сегодня для того, чтобы вам представить представление индейцев в Уральске.
The Native American culture is the oldest and one of the richest cultures in America.
Культура индейцев одна из самых старых, одна из самых богатых в Америке.
And we're very happy to be able to bring you the Big Mountain family who will perform for you today.
И мы очень рады привести к вам сегодня семью Биг Маунтенов.
So, the Big Mountain family.
Пожалуйста, встречайте.
Before we get started with our dances, I would like to take a moment to introduce to you the members of our group.
Прежде чем мы начнем танцевать, я бы хотела вас познакомить с членами нашей семьи.
Right to my right, this is my sister. Her name is White Dog.
Справа от меня моя сестра, ее зовут
Then next to her, he is our nephew. His name is Snow Snake.
Вероник, его зовут Снежный Змей.
My name is Buffalo. We are the Big Mountain family.
Меня зовут Баффало, и мы семья Биг Маунтенов.
Now that we are somewhat acquainted, I would like to take some time to explain our dances. The first dance that we will do for you today is called the Sneak Up.
И так как мы теперь познакомились поближе, я хочу теперь рассказать вам о наших танцах. Первый танец называется «Крадущийся».
This dance shows how we would go back onto the battlefield and retrieve our fallen soldiers.
Это танец о том, как воинов забирают из поля раненых.
In the dance, the enemy would come out and chase the braves back to not let them get their wounded.
Когда одна сторона пытается забрать раненых воинов, противоположная сторона пытается им помешать.
But finally they were able to succeed and bring their fallen soldiers back to the tribe and then have a victory dance.
И в конце концов, первой стороне удается забрать своих раненых солдатов. И в конце они празднуют танец победы.
Oh The next dance that we are performing for you comes from our mother's side of the family, the Mohawk.
Следующий танец – это танец племени нашей матери, племени Mohawk.
They lived near the Great Lakes, and so fishing and fish were the staple of their life.
Они жили рядом с великими озерами, поэтому рыболовство значило для них очень много.
We have many songs and dances honoring the fish, honoring the fishermen, and honoring the women who cook the fish.
Поэтому у них очень много песен и танцев, которые воспевают женщин, которые готовят рыбу, самих рыб и рыбаков, которые ловят рыбу.
As you see the dance, it will start out, be dancing in a shuffling motion. This signifies the fish swimming free in the water.
Танец начинается медленно, потому что это как бы показывает рыбу, которая свободно плавает в воде.
As the song continues, you'll hear a yell, and this is a signal for the fishermen to pull the nets up out of the water.
И когда песня продолжается, вы услышите крики. Это тот момент, когда рыбаки поднимают сеть, чтобы поднять рыбу наверх.
This changes the step to a jumping step, and a third step will show the fish flipping back and forth in the nets. This is the fish dance.
Следующий этап танца – это когда рыба поймана, она в сети, и она мечется взад и вперед. И вот этот танец называется танцем.
It was said that it was a legend of the Catawbas, and they believed at one time the eagle was a pure white bird.
Племени Катоба верят, что когда-то ястреб была птица белая, абсолютно белая.
In the beginning of the dance, you'll find an eagle asleep in his nest.
В начале легенды однажды ястреб спал у себя в гнезде.
He wakes up and decides that on this day he is going to go up and land on the sun.
И однажды он просыпается и решает, что он должен взлететь к солнцу и приземлиться на солнце.
Once more proving his strength and courage to all who honor him.
Он таким образом хочет показать свою силу для тех, кто его почитает.
He says a prayer to the four directions, then takes off from his nest.
Он молится во все четыре стороны и начинает взлетать с гнезда.
He begins circling round and round, and each time he goes around, getting higher and higher.
Он начинает кружиться вокруг солнца и начинает подниматься высоко.
Till around noontime, he was up high enough and close enough to the sun that the heat began to scorch his feathers.
Ближе к полудню он так поднялся высоко к солнцу, что солнце начинает обжигать его крылья.
So instead of being white, he becomes a dark brown or almost black color, as you see eagle's feathers are today.
И вместо того, чтобы оставаться белым из-за солнца, крылья его и окрас становятся коричневыми или даже черными, как вы знаете, они выглядят сегодня.
From looking at the sun so long, his eyes become a golden yellow.
От того, что он смотрел на солнце так долго, глаза становятся его желтыми.
Long story short, he did not make it to the sun. Much too high, much too hot.
Одним словом, он так и не добрался до солнца, потому что было слишком высоко и слишком жарко.
He gives up, lets out a screech, and comes circling back down again until he reaches his nest and goes back to sleep.
Он вскрикивает, сдается, возвращается к себе в гнездо и идет спать обратно.
This dance is normally performed outside when the sun is the highest in the air.
Обычно этот танец танцуют на улице, когда солнце высоко светит.
and you would actually watch the shadow, and you would not watch the dancer, and you would see the eagle in flight.
И таким образом, когда это танцуют на улице, можно видеть тень танцора и даже не смотреть на танцора и видеть в тени танцора саму птицу.
In the song, you'll hear the words "we-chi-chi" repeated over and over. This simply means eagle in the Catawba's language.
В течение этого танца вы услышите в песне это слово «уичичи», которое означает в племени Катоба название птицы ястреба. Прежде чем мы приступим к следующему танцу, я хочу вас научить кое-чему.
And that is how we greet each other in our language.
Я хочу вас научить здороваться на наших языках.
But we have a small problem here because there are over 400 different languages and dialects spoken by our people.
Но небольшая проблема заключается в том, что у нас свыше 400 диалектов.
Some are just as different as French is to German, German is to English, English to Kazakh, and right on down the line.
И они все разные, как английский к немецку, немецкий к французскому, казахскому и так далее.
Because of this, I will try to teach you 3 different languages so you can hear the differences.
И поэтому я вас научу только 3 языкам, чтобы вы могли увидеть для себя, как они по-разному друг от друга звучат.
But we'll have a little fun with it. I will greet you, and then you greet me back with it.
И поэтому я вас научу, а потом вы должны мне тем самым ответить на этом языке.
I told you earlier, our mother, she is Mohawk, she is of the Iroquois nation.
Как я вам говорил заранее, до этого, наша мать из племени Магавков, они принадлежат к ирокезам.
They're from the northeast woodlands tribes, kind of in New York State, Canada, in that area.
Это племя находится на северо-востоке страны, рядом с Нью-Йорком.
When the Mohawks greet, they greet like this. Segos, gonna go up. Oh, we'll try this again. But first, we put our right hands up.
Магавки поднимают правую руку наверх.
This means I have no weapon in my hand. I mean you no harm.
Это означает, что в руках у меня нет оружия и у меня нет никаких иных намерений.
So I say to you, and you greet back. Segos, gonna go up. Oh, my mother would be very happy.
Моя мать была бы очень горда сейчас.
Sounded very good.
Очень хорошо звучало.
Now, my father is a Comanche. He is from the plains from out west by Texas.
Мой отец из племени Команчи, это рядом с Техасом племя.
When they greet like this. Gandaway. Gandaway. Хорошо. Very good. Another one. One of the largest tribes in existence today are known as the Navajo. The Navajo greet like this. Yatahe. Yatahe. Хорошо. Very good.
Это так здоровается в племени Навахо, одно из самых многочисленных племеней в Штатах.
People ask me, now with your tribes and the different languages, how did they talk to each other when they met?
Иногда меня спрашивают, если у вас так много языков, как разные племена здоровались и разговаривали с друг другом.
Actually, they would use Indian Sign Language.
А я им объясняю, что они использовали индейский язык жестов.
So we will do one of those as well. You know the first gesture, right hand up, which means hello.
Первый жест — это руку наверх, это означает привет.
Hand over your heart means good.
Рука к сердцу означает хорошо.
Outward sweeping motion means all.
А следующий жест — это означает все.
All together, hello, good is all. Or hello, all is good.
То есть все вместе это означает привет, все хорошо.
Okay, let's try it. Good. Very good. So now you can hear that the languages are much different from one another as you go throughout our country.
И как вы теперь увидели, наши языки совсем разные друг от друга в зависимости от того штата, где они находятся.
And as well as our differences in culture, also in the way we live, the homes that we live in, the foods we eat, many differences throughout.
То есть разница в племенах всегда разная, зависит, конечно, разница есть и в еде, в доме, где мы живем. Все племена друг от друга очень сильно отличаются.
All right, so thank you, and hopefully after the show, you'll come up and you can greet me in one of those languages.
И надеюсь, после того, как мы выступим, вы сможете ко мне подойти, со мной поздороваться так, как я вас только что научил.
The next dance we're going to perform for you is a dance fairly modern. Came about around 1849, somewhere around that.
Следующий танец, он достаточно новый танец, где-то в 1840-х годах он был изобретен.
And this dance developed as when the settlers was crossing our country, because heading to California for the great gold rush, they would have opportunity to meet up with our people.
Этот танец зародился тогда, когда европейцы начали проходить через западные штаты в Калифорнии, тогда, когда там нашли золото, и европейцы начали знакомиться с индейцами.
During these meetings, we would do a lot of trading, like the things that we wear today. The bells were European sleigh bells. The beads were from Czechoslovakia.
И в это время у нас было, между нами происходили очень много торговых сделок, и мы обменивались. Например, европейцы нам давали вот эти вот колокольчики, которые пришли от рабов, а вот эти вот вышивки, они пришли из Чехословакии вовсе.
And the materials were blankets we cut up and put them into our regalia.
А вот эти разные одеяла мы всегда вырезали и всегда добавляли в свои костюмы.
But then at nighttime, the wagons would circle and they would bring out their instruments and the men and women would dance holding hands.
А ночью европейцы всегда выходили из своих вагонов, собирались в круг и всегда танцевали с друг другом, женщиной и мужчиной.
Our people have never seen this, where a boy and girl held hands and dancing.
И для индейцев это было непривычно видеть, как мужчина и женщина держатся за руки и танцуют.
We like it.
Но им понравилось.
So we started mimicking them, and this is the dance that came from it.
И поэтому индейцы, так как им понравилось, начали подражать им и изобрели свой такой же танец.
And as the meetings grew more frequent, we started learning their language, and we started adding it into the song as well.
И как начали двусторонние отношения развиваться, индейцы начали вкладывать английские слова в свои песни.
So you will hear words of English in this song.
И поэтому вы услышите некоторые слова на английском в течение этой песни.
This is the 49th. In these dances, there was always many more couples. There would be a very long line, and we'd go dance after dance for hours on end.
И когда люди танцевали так, то там обычно было, конечно же, больше людей, целая линия людей, очередь, на которой танцевали друг за другом.
At this time, I would like some participation. We need 5 girls and 5 boys to come up here and help them.
Нам сейчас потребуются волонтеры, 5 мальчиков и 5 девочек.
All right, let's go. Who's coming? 5 girls, 5 boys.
Есть желающие?
Two boys, 2 girls. All right, one more boy. One more boy. All right. All right. This is a game that we used to play to entertain ourselves.
В эту игру мы играли в детстве для того, чтобы развлечь себя.
You will hear the drum beat and the song being played.
Сейчас будем играть барабаны и начнем петь.
And then you will dance along the outside of the circle, outside of the hoops.
И вы должны будете танцевать вокруг обруча, вне обруча, пританцовывать, вокруг ходить. Попробуйте сначала. Вокруг. Ну-ка, остановимся пока.
When the drum beat stops, one person in one hoop.
Когда перестает играть барабан, вы должны оказаться внутри обруча.
All right?
Поняли?
Okay, let's try it. So that's what we're going to do, okay? But now we were going to step up and now we take one poop away. All right? Now, we will do this until there is only one left.
Эта игра будет продолжаться до тех пор, пока не останется только один участник.
Now, gentlemen, usually the girls always win.
Обычно девочки всегда выигрывают, поэтому мальчики не позволяйте.
They always win. Ready? Very good, very good. Way to go, All right, ready?
Круги стали больше. Надо танцевать вокруг большого круга. И когда перестает звучать барабан, оказаться в обруче посередине. танец с обручем.
This dance was developed by Navajo family that was crossing the desert near their home.
Этот танец был изобретен семьей из племени Навахо, которые когда-то шли по пустыне.
This boy sees something off in the distance. He runs over to it, and it's a water barrel that has fallen off of a passing wagon.
И мальчик из этой семьи однажды шел в пустыню, увидел что-то в песке. И когда он подошел поближе, он увидел деревянный обруч, который когда-то был частью большого ведра для воды.
He finds a round wooden hoop that holds the barrels together. He takes it and begins to play with it.
И когда он нашел этот обруч, он начинает с ним играться.
It quickly becomes his favorite toy.
И этот обруч становится его любимым предметом.
So, that night, when the elders called on him to come perform, he brought his hoop with him.
И тем вечером, когда взрослые племени пригласили его, чтобы он их развлек, он начал играть с обручем.
While dancing with it, he would put it over his head and jump through it.
Пока он играл, он начал просовывать свое туловище через обруч, руки, ноги.
Other children seeing this, they wanted to do it as well.
Когда другие дети это увидели, они тоже так захотели сделать.
So it quickly became a competition-style dance.
И с тех пор этот танец стал танцем соревнованием.
So Snow Snake is going to perform with 19 hoops here.
И поэтому снежный змей сегодня для вас выступит с 19 обручами.
He will show you many different things. He'll show you earthly things and animal things.
Он вам покажет очень много разных образов через этот танец с обручем.
If you notice or see anything you recognize, feel free to let him know. Give him more energy for his dancing.
В танце вы увидите растения, животное. Если вы увидите то, что вы узнаете, то можете имя этого животного или растения выкрикнуть.
This is the Navajo.
Это танец с обручем из племени Навахо.
ended up here, I was just wondering if anybody had any questions for us.
Перед тем, как мы закончим представление, я хотела узнать, если у вас есть вопросы.
Yes.
So, how do you feel? Does everybody support your culture in America? How do you feel?
Yeah, they support it pretty much, but there's not so many of us around. Some people will go their whole life without ever even seeing the Native Americans. Yes?
Do you live on a reservation?
No, we do not. We belong to a reservation, but we do not live on one. We belong to the Mohawk Reservation, which is in Canada, across the river from Montreal. It is called Navajo.
What kind of laws do you have?
What kind of laws?
Yeah, that belong only to your reservation. For example, that you must obey.
Oh, the laws on the reservation and off are pretty much the same, but on the reservation we have our own police and our own government.
Anybody else?
The other cities we've been?
Мы были до этого в Актобе, были в Атрау, и завтра в субботу в Астану поедем.
Yes, it's been fantastic. We've been enjoying all the cities we've gone to, and we most love the people. The people have been fantastic.
Did you know something about our culture?
Did we know before? No, so we've been learning as we go. As we teach, we've been learning as well.
Tell her what you like to eat.
Oh, chips leaf?
Do you hear about our culture?
Yes. Some of the fry bread?
Yes.
Баурсаки им больше понравились.
Where we have we been? Oh, besides here? Oh, we've been to Tajikistan, we've been to Uzbekistan, and then other regions in Europe, Germany, Holland, Switzerland. We've been to Singapore.
How many times do you need to learn your dance?
We started dancing right after we learned to walk. It's just something that we do in our culture. We have many festivals that we go to dance at. I'm sure you do as well. And we can go just dance for 3 days and have a lot of fun.
Somebody over here.
Because we were asked to come here to show you our culture.
We were also curious about people here. We didn't know very much about the people here. And we were surprised to come here and look at the audience and see faces that look like ours, our people. Your people look like our people.
How old are you?
I am 47.
47?
Which dance is the hardest to dance?
The ones that I do.
Group dance. You never stop learning how to do that dance. Every year there's something new to learn, so you never stop learning it.
So what about your mother? What is her name?
My mother's name is Gadita Noe. That means wildflower. Our last name is Itanka Itankahi. So her name is Gadita Noe Itanka Itankahi. Yes, I'm married. I have a husband who is a stuntman in the United States, and I have a 21-year-old daughter who lives in England who just got married last week.
Oh yeah, we have many dances. We have dances for almost all animals. We have dances for all occasions.
You have schools with you have festivals in the
Yes.
Does it mean?
And on top is the eagle feathers that we use a lot in our regalia. My feathers in the back, these are red-tailed hawk feathers. And the warriors used to wear these the circle in the middle represents battlefield. The color of red represents blood spilled in battle. The two shafts on the top represent war arrows. And there's just many, many different meanings in through that. The regalia that I wear is of the Plains tribes, my father's people, the Comanche.
My regalia is more modern. This is the Mohawk Regalia. We use a lot of trade cloth. We use the wool on there, the glass beads. The Mohawk people use mainly white beads on their beadwork. You'll see that I have a lot of that. I have what we call trade beads that were